Hi guys, welcome back to another daily tarot card. These are your daily tarot cards for Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. Today we are pulling from the Deviant Moon tarot cards. So I definitely feel like a lot of shadow energy here. I know myself and a few others that have been like, do you feel it? And I'm like, definitely, yes. We were outside today and we happened to look outside and we saw the beautiful crescent, like the sickle of how really that sliver in the sky, and it was so gorgeous. And it's just like, okay, it's there, but what's going on? Like, why is it, feel that way? So I feel like because 1111 will open that portal of enlightenment, I feel like maybe that's why this is happening, because we were supposed to have November 5th till December 5th at this really amazing time. So I've also seen with other people saying November, December, January, we're supposed to be amazing. So we'll see what happens. So we have the Five of Swords. So if we reverse it, this is the waning crescent. So this is the end of November heading into December. But they're saying with a war of words. So I feel like that's going on right now, but I feel like you're finding a place how to manage your shadow energy. So our shadow energy is us going back and forth. So our light energy is the flow of life. The ebb is our shadow side. So we're doing the shadow work of learning how to tell this shadow side of ourselves to shut the F up. We call it our ego. This is where we run ourselves down, telling ourselves bad things about ourselves. You're not good enough. You're this, you're this, you're this. Maybe things we've, heard growing up, and now it's like regurgitated in our, ego shadow side. So I feel like it's like that's the end of this. We're letting this go. We're no longer allowing this to be a part of our life. We have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant, because he is in the prayer position, I feel like this is our higher self. So this is where our soul is coming out and speaking to us saying, listen, these things aren't true. I've recently gone through a situation last week where it's like information from the past has come forward, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I don't appreciate the timing, because it was really off-putting timing. And the other thing is, even if this is true, which I feel like it is, I'm like, it doesn't matter anymore, because it's over. It's in the past. So there's not really, you know what I mean? So I feel like that growth, and I feel like the biggest thing that we can accomplish in life is the way that we emotionally react to things. Yes, you will feel some emotions, but sit there and say, is it worth the anxiety, the depression, the fear, worry, and doubt? No, it's not. You exhaust yourself. And I feel like Spirit is telling us here that there is something coming up, especially with temperance, maybe that you want to do where there's travel involved. And they're saying, we want you to, put that energy towards this. So it's learning how to navigate through life and learning how to master, the shadows that are in us to evolve to better things. So maybe this is where that enlightenment comes in with 1111. We do have the King of Cups making an appearance here. The full moon is supposed to be a lunar eclipse. So, this shadowy energy. I don't feel like this is the lover that we've been calling in. I feel like this is a old friend from the past, or a old acquaintance or lover, or a family member trying to make them try to slither in. So they're a snake. So I was saying, what do we do with snakes? Cut their head off. I'm not saying violence here at all. I'm just saying prevent it. Arm's length, keep them at bay. It's like some people know when to sit there and slither their way in because they're like, ooh, they're going through something. So this, their guard is down. I'm going to slither on in so I can take advantage again. So keep your guard up, some people are going to try and take advantage again. So, just sit there and keep your guard up regarding this. But I definitely feel like we are mastering, because you see with the light and the shadow here, it's one. So we're learning how to master this demon. Instead of combating ourselves, instead of fighting ourselves, let's get on equal ground here. Let's learn how to combat the shadow side so we can just be our light selves. When we're in that flow of life. And this is one of the things that will bring that flow into your life, is where you sit there and you say, you know what? I can't do anything to change this situation, so let's just sit there and leave it alone. Nothing you can do with it. Yes, feel your feelings, but move forward. And I definitely feel like, when that gentleman was saying on TikTok, when you're in this kind of cycle with the fear, worry, and doubt, depression, anxiety, write down everything that's making you anxious. What can you control? So cross out everything you can't control. So the things that are left, what can you do to change that situation? And if you can't do anything, then let it go. Sometimes we just unfortunately have to ride the wave and go forward. That's all we can do. Do not give this another second. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Start off with the Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords in reverse, this is like a war of words. And I definitely don't feel like this is externally. Maybe in your case it might be. For some of you, that maybe you have been fighting with someone, and now they're saying it's coming to an end. I feel like because we have this figure that is a light side and a dark side and they share one body, I feel like this is where I feel that inside that war is, that combat, because the Two of Swords is a decision at hand. But here it's like we're fighting against ourselves. So I feel like with the Five of Swords in reverse, it's like, okay, let's put this away. Let's overcome this shadow energy. Let's do the shadow work so we don't let this rule our life for the rest of our lives. So we have the Hierophant before us, and usually we have, two people and he's marrying them. So he's usually sitting on a throne and they're talking about balance here. But I feel like he's in a desperate position because he's praying. He's asking for something to come in here, right? So this is where I feel like, with our higher self, we're learning how to master the shadows of the past and be like, you know what? Release and let go. When the Hierophant appears, tradition and seeking of wise counsel is called for. The Hierophant may also represent a Taurus in your life, or a fixed sign about to enter your life. Routine and structure and good work ethic are the things that Tauruses love, and this is why Taurus embodies by the Hierophant. Learning and reverting back to traditional roots may be the message when you see this Hierophant. You may consult with a third party in your situation if you are stuck and need advice. So I definitely feel like, maybe you're really, in your head and you're overthinking, and maybe this is where you need to talk to your doctor and, get some help just to calm your mind down and go to therapy. I feel like the combination of the two would be great. But I feel like, sometimes we overthink so much it overwhelms us. I feel like if you can get the help, get it. It is important that you not make any decisions on your own today. So this is what I'm saying. Like, even if you're talking to your friends and they're saying like, you've been overthinking for a while and it's like you're going to burn out. So you need to go talk to your doctor. I'll come with you if you need someone to be a support system and, sit there and speak up for yourself. Write down everything you're feeling, what you're, how it affects your life, the sleepless nights, so we can get ahead of this. Education, research, and old ways of doing things are the way to go in your day and your situation. The Hierophant also represents new beginnings, and elevated status in your situation is very likely at the same time. Though this will occur in your life more easily if you seek counsel and assistance from an older source or within a traditional setting. Very much going with, I can't remember what it was for. I know it was the dark wood. I keep calling it the shadow wood. The dark wood, and it was the gargoyles. I think it was the Wheel of Fortune, wasn't it? As we move forward, I think it was. And it was like they were reading books. So again, seeking counsel. So I feel like if you're not very well versed on something, maybe you get diagnosed with something with this. And it's like you educate yourself and you're just like, wow, I didn't even see that. You know what I mean? So maybe it's something that does run in the family, but maybe the family forgot, or maybe it was only like one person, or it was overlooked, right? So it's just like, why not get ahead of this before it becomes worse? It often signifies going back to school, joining a church or spiritual group. Sometimes this third party sought out with the Hierophant is simply your higher power or divine within. It indicates you're educating yourself at a higher level and a new beginning starts as a result. So, sometimes we get overwhelmed, or we're dealing with situations where we're like, I just want to quiet my mind. So drinking and drugs, and it's just like, that's not the way to do it. So going to that higher power, maybe going to, Alcoholics Anonymous, going to a support group where they understand, right? But it's like the best way to deal with that, instead of trying to quiet it, let's go to the doctor and get to the root of the cause. Once we get rid of the cause, then we can begin to heal. Just put, drowning in liquor and other substances ain't going to change anything. So with the Two of Swords, like, usually this is a decision, an emotional decision coming before us. This is the crescent moon. But I feel like this is shadow side again, because they are one figure. So I feel like the flow and the ebb are fighting. The yin and the yang. We're in this fight back and forth. This is why I feel like this is, a self, with the Five of Swords, the way you speak to yourself. So I feel like they're like, in this cycle, are you going to give into the light cycle, or are you going to give it to a shadow cycle? And I feel like this is where you sit there and you take the reins of your life, where you're like, once and for all, especially when it's a situation where it's like, if you can't do anything to change it, it's like, let it go. You may feel like the hangover of the emotions of it, but you will see your way through it. So next we have the King of Cups. And I definitely feel like this is a shadow side of one because of the lunar eclipse. And I feel like this is where someone's an opportunist. This is the word that they used when I was doing IG. And it's like they're trying to slither in because they see that you're vulnerable. So it's like either they've wronged you and they're trying to sneak back in and won't admit they're wrong. So it's just like, be on your guard. Keep people at an arm's length. When the Nine of Cups arise, the message is a very positive one of love. Some people often enter your day with a big heart and a lot of love and support for you. It could be an older male, or it could be one of the water signs. So for me, in this energy, I definitely feel like someone's trying to take advantage here. They did mention that there was going to be one that was a false start, and then there was going to be one that was actually the start. I don't feel like this is a lover. I feel like this is a family member or a friend from the past. I feel like someone or acquaintance, someone is trying to sneak their way back in. There is generosity and love in spirit at play when you see this card. And this card brings the promise that love you are looking for is around you. It may be someone you aren't expecting, or it may be just a family member that makes an appearance in your day. This is not a short-lived love, but one that fills and completes you, even if it's not a romantic love. So we keep talking about this water sign appearing. Like they kept talking about water and fire, water and fire. At one point they did say Scorpio. But I'm just saying be cautious with this. You know what I mean? Because it's like if the universe saved you from it once, why would you want to sit there and bring it back into your life? So our last card is of Temperance, and I definitely feel like, going with the flow of things. And I feel like this is where Temperance is like taking a step back. And I feel like, they were saying that yesterday as well, to take a step back. I feel like this is why they're saying don't make any decisions on your own. Because you're not clear-headed enough to do it. You're too emotional to make a major decision. So I feel like it's like if you're able to take some time, they're showing like a week, they're showing 7 days. Usually like, with business, like, decision is like Monday through Friday, but they're showing 7 days. So I feel like maybe like on the Monday, they're highlighting a Monday. But it's just like, don't make any rash decisions. Don't feel pressured. I feel pressured to make a decision here. When the Temperance cards appear in your day, the message is one of balance. So you should experience or expect to see some harmony in your life over a situation at hand. So overcoming this, and this is where I feel like, we're learning how to do the shadow work. What is our things that, hinder us when, the moon is getting, darker and darker in the sky. Or it's like, retrogrades happen, or Chiron is happening. Something that causes some kind of chaos, and it's like, how do we learn how to deal with the chaos? Sometimes we can go through the storm. We can see what's going on. Sometimes it's complete darkness and you can't see. And this is when we ask the universe for deliverance and guidance. And that's where I was feeling like, well, I don't need deliverance and guidance in this situation because I don't want nothing to do with it. There's nothing, I got to sit there and move forward. A little bit big picture reflection is a good idea when you see this card, as the card embodies fire sign, spirit of mutable Sagittarius. So remember we were saying when there was that fire and water, and here's Temperance. The major arcana card is all about an overt action. No excess energy is required on your part to resolve your situation. In fact, the opposite is caution. This card brings with it the message that it may be time to step back a little bit and exercise some caution in key areas of your life. Sometimes the card could be of moderation. If you've been consuming too much in the way of spending, drinking, or substance use, this card is sending you the message to curb things back. So being in our head too much, where it causes us a nervous breakdown, because we're too afraid to talk to our doctor about it. Because as much as everyone likes to say that mental health is not a faux pas anymore, it definitely is. There is an astigmatism, yeah, there still is. When the movement of water between the two cups, this card also sends the message that some travel may be present when this card appears. So I feel like what they're saying is shift your energy and your focus from this situation that we cannot change, and let's focus on the future. So I feel like you have something that's coming up, and I feel like you're driving to go there. So I feel like they're saying, let's put our energy into this instead. Let's not exhaust ourselves. Let's not exude all this energy and all these emotions into a situation that doesn't need anything. You know, like they brought it to our attention. Thank you very much for the message. You know, but you know, it doesn't. I mean, I don't want it. Like, you know, as we're seeing water flow back and forth from one cup to the other, the message could also indicate travel on the horizon. You may also experience a situation with foreign connections when temperance arrives in your day. So I feel like, you know, when we were talking about, you know, instead of sitting there and drowning out the overthinking by drinking and doing drugs, or, you know, doing things that are not healthy, let's get to the root of this cause and let's fix it. You know, let's get ahead of this overthinking so we don't burn out. You know, leading to a more serious, you know, mental health issue, or an issue as we go ahead in life. So it's just like, you know, let's stop burying it. Let's get to the root cause of it and deal with it and get in front of it before, you know, a big storm comes on the, you know, comes at us. So they're literally showing dark clouds, water. It's raining over the a big, like, I guess, ocean, or a water mass, and it's like, you know, it's coming for us. So it's just like, you know, let's, you know, deal with the shadow work when we can deal with it. If we don't know how to deal with it, then how can we consult with our higher self? How can we sit there and learn how to deal with it? This is where they're talking about education. You know, so it doesn't necessarily mean going back to school. It means doing research. You know, what can I do, you know, to help, you know, they're saying meditate, to get ahead of these things, you know, because a lot of people are afraid of traditional medicine. So, you know, I just feel like whatever best suits you, it's a temporary situation. Even if you do get on a medication, it could be a temporary situation just to calm your mind down, just because there's a lot of spinning balls going on at one time. You know, and when we were reading for IG, they're talking about getting overwhelmed with all the news, all the fear mongering, like, you know, fear, 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 worry, worry, worry. And then it's just like, you don't know how to, you know, cope everyday life, because that's all that's regurgitating in your mind. So eliminate all the negativity in your life and try to put on your favorite music. How can we change this? Well, let's watch a comedy, make us laugh. You know, do things that are positive. If it shows up in your For You page, skip it. If you watch the news, PVR it, fast forward through the stories you don't want to listen to. You know, there are certain ways that you can eliminate being overwhelmed by so many stories. You know, you don't want to hear it, just fast forward through it. You know, there's no need to overwhelm yourself with things that at this moment doesn't need to be worried about. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card. Bye.